Day Digital Bangladesh Fair at Bangabandhu International Conference Centre in the capital today with the theme Highways of Technology in Bangabandhu's Shonar Bangla. Chaired by Post and Telecommunications Minister Mustafa Jabbar, the function was addressed by Chairman of Parliamentary Standing Committee on Post, Telecommunications and Information Technology A.K.M. Rahmatullah and Post and Telecommunications Secretary Noorur Rahman. Shajib Wajid Joy said as most IT services are internet-based and exports are happening over the internet, it is possible to track the true volume. He also expressed his hope that the country will roll out 5G technologies with the rest of the world.
Launch 5G by the end of this term. We launched 3G in our first term, 4G in our second term. Our goal is to launch 5G in this term, and we are determined to do so. On the record, officially, Bangladesh's IT exports exceed $1 billion. And I believe now that we are exporting hardware as well. Televisions, smartphones, smart devices, electronics are starting to be exported from Bangladesh. As these exports grow, these are going to grow rapidly, they're going to grow exponentially, and I believe that within a very short term, we will cross our garments exports through technology exports.
Later, Shajib Wajid Joy visited different stalls set up there. Broadband internet, triple play technology, mobile apps, parental control and other technologies will be showcased in the fair. Chinese tech giant Huawei, also the titanium sponsor of the fair, will stage the 5G show at the fair, where visitors will be able to experience the gigabit level speed testing of 5G for free at the company's pavilion.
Awami League General Secretary and Road Transport and Bridges Minister Obaidul Qadir has said, as per the instruction of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, the Awami League will not do anything excess in the electoral publicity of the Dhaka City Corporation elections. He was talking to newsmen on the current affairs at the Secretariat in Dhaka today. Obaidul Qadir said the Election Commission can take necessary action against the violators of the electoral code of conduct. He said the Awami League is in vigil position over the two city corporations and the partymen have been instructed to maintain the electoral rules in the field level publicity. Obaidul Qadir said the government has nothing to do with the election date because it is a court verdict. He called upon all to abide by the verdict of the court. Bangladesh Information Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood, who is now in India, has called on Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. During the call-on, Narendra Modi conveyed his warm greetings to Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina through the Bangladesh Information Minister. Besides, ministers of different countries who are attending the Raisina dialogue in India also called on Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Bangladesh Information Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood also accompanied them to call on Indian Premier Narendra Modi.
Education Minister Dr. Deepu Moni urged guardians not to pay any heed to rumours about question paper leakage of upcoming SSC and equivalent examinations. She made the call today while briefing to journalists at a press briefing held at the Ministry of Education on SSC examinations. Deputy Minister for Education Barrister Mohibul Hassan Chowdhury Naufal and other senior officials were present. Dr. Deepu Moni said a total of 20,47,779 examinees will take part in the SSC and equivalent examinations this year at 11 education board, including Madrasa and Technical Education Board. She said Education Ministry has already given directions to close all coaching centres across the country to hold the examination smoothly. Dr. Deepu Moni informed that policies regarding coaching centres 2012 will be updated and laws on the education system will also be amended. Planning Minister M. Mannan has underscored the need for utilising local experts in framing and executing plans through various uplift schemes. The Planning Minister was addressing a book launching ceremony for integrated assessment for the Bangladesh Delta Plan 2100 analysis of selected intervention held at the NEC conference room in the city's Sherebangla Nagar area today. Jointly organised by the Institute of Water and Flood Management of Buet and the General Economics Division of the Planning Commission. The function was addressed by National Professor and Vice Chancellor of the University of Asia Pacific, Professor Dr. Jamilur Riza Chowdhury, and Planning Commission member Dr. Shamsul Alam. M.M. Mannan said the government is increasingly trying to stand on its own feet and talents towards materializing its development endeavors.
Now, international news. The US and China have signed an agreement aimed at easing a trade war that has rattled markets and weighed on the global economy. Speaking in Washington, US President Donald Trump said the pact would be transformative for the US economy. Chinese leaders called it a win-win deal that would help foster better relations between the two countries. China has pledged to boost US imports by $200 billion above 2017 levels and strengthen intellectual property rules. In exchange, the US has agreed to halve some of the new tariffs it has imposed on Chinese products. Russia's parliament will begin reviewing President Vladimir Putin's nomination of a little-known tax chief as the country's new prime minister on Thursday, after his announcement of a sweeping constitutional shake-up fueled speculation he plans to extend his hold on power. The announcements made during and after the president's State of the Nation speech triggered speculation about Putin's role past 2024, when his current fourth presidential term expires. The proposals would be the first significant change to the country's constitution since it was adopted in 1993 and include a referendum on amending the constitution to increase the powers of parliament while maintaining a strong presidential system. Under the changes, legislators would name prime ministers and cabinet members, decisions currently made by the president.
More international news. The Democratic-led House of Representatives voted on Wednesday to send two formal charges against President Donald Trump to Senate to begin in earnest next week. Lawmakers voted 228 to 193 to give the Senate, controlled by Trump's fellow Republicans, the task of putting him on trial on charges of abuse of power for asking Ukraine to investigate political rival Joe Biden and obstruction of Congress for blocking testimony and documents sought by Democratic lawmakers. The vote, which also approved a team of 7 Democratic lawmakers named by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to serve as prosecutors in the trial, was largely along party lines. The Senate is expected to acquit Trump, keeping him in office, given that none of its 53 Republicans has voiced support for removing him, a step that under the US Constitution would require a 2/3 majority. Back to home news. The second phase of Bisho Ijtima began on the banks of the Turag River in Tongi tomorrow. The Bisho Ijtima will begin through a Ambayan after Fajr prayers. Several thousand devotees are expected to offer Jummah prayers on the first day of the second phase Ijtima. Thousands of devotees from home and abroad have started thronging the bank of Turag River to take part in the religious event to seek divine blessings of the Almighty Allah. Additional police has been deployed in and around the Ijtima venue to ensure security of the devotees. The venue has been brought under CCTV surveillance. The 3-day Bisho Ijtima will end on January 19 with Akhiri Munajat.
Health and Family Welfare Minister Zahid Malik has said the nation will soon find substantial progress in the health sector. He made the comment at a meeting with US Ambassador to Bangladesh Earl R. Miller at the Secretariat today. The health minister said the US is playing an important role in progressing Bangladesh's health sector. He stressed on the need for more US cooperation for the development of health sector. The health minister and the US ambassador discussed a number of joint initiatives to be taken for the health sector of Bangladesh. Secretary of Health Services Division Mohammad Asadul Islam, Secretary of Health Education Division Mohammad Ali Noor, and officials of the US Embassy in Dhaka, Michelle Avelman, Michael Friedman and Georges Shedua took part in the meeting. Now news on weather. Weather may remain dry over the country, having chances of light rain or drizzle at 1 or 2 places over Rangpur division tomorrow. Met Office says mild cold wave is sweeping over the district of Panchgor and Dinajpur and it may abate. Today's minimum temperature of the country was 9.2 degrees Celsius at Tetulia. Night temperature may rise slightly and day temperature may remain nearly unchanged of the country. Besides, moderate to thick fog may occur at places over the country during midnight to morning.
And now, sports news. Burundi trashed Mauritius by 4-1 in the Bangladeshi International Gold Cup football tournament in Dhaka today. At the Bangladeshi National Stadium, Adrien Francois took lead for Mauritius in the 3rd minute of the match. Jospin Inshimirimana scored a hat-trick goal for Burundi in the